Girl, oh my God, emergency meeting. Taylor Swift is engaged. Okay, why am I sitting here? Why do I look like this? So yesterday, I actually recorded a video on Taylor, like unpacking her podcast with Travis, and I looked good. Okay, like my hair was all done. It's not going straight vertical. What's that about? And I was going to upload it today, and then we hear that Taylor is engaged. So this video, that's what this video is going to be. I just wanted to do a special little intro for it and let you know that I am going to do many, many more videos. This one is about the one question to ask a guy to see if he's marriage material, to see if he's an alpha male. But you girls have been suggesting some amazing things on my Instagram. I'm still taking your suggestions. Go over there, Shallon XO. This is straight vertical. What? You have one job, and it's like not that. But yes, let me know your thoughts. A lot of you girls are suggesting like how to know if a guy is the one. We're going to talk about compatibility and like what actually is it. A lot of you girls have said what to do if you don't think a guy is going to propose. Like, how do you know that he's serious about you and what to do? So my hair next time will be down. It will be vertical, but down in the direction that gravity naturally pulls it. I'll see you in a day or two. Okay, look. Shalligators, we're back. Hello. I'm back from Oxford. I'm back after 3-4 weeks in beautiful Oxford University doing an intensive creative writing summer school. I am home in Montana, where I live on purpose for some fucking reason. Anyway, I am sorry I've left you guys on bread and water. I've been super active in the Shallontrage covering my Oxford adventures, lots of deep dives into like the stuff that I learned out there. And I don't mean like grammar and syntax, but not that. I actually did a video recently on publishing 101. I'm a 2-time Random House author, and I know a thing or two about publishing, and I'm spilling the tea. I'm not gatekeeping anything about that industry. I'll tell you how to get an agent, how to get a book deal, what works, what doesn't, what the pros and cons of the industry are. Go check that out. You can also get your first week for free in the Shallontrage and access to group chats, all my stuff. Anyway, check it out. Lots of good stuff. But things were happening while I was away, right? Namely, Taylor and Travis going on a podcast together. I thought it was adorable. Like okay. We're going to break it down because as I listened to this podcast appearance, and she was a little smart assy. And to me, that showed she respects and values his intelligence, and she can like, throw it back. Cause it didn't seem like, how sometimes people joke and they're just being a dick. And then when someone gets offended, they're like, well, I'm just kidding, God. That was not the vibe I got. It was, I know that I can be a little like smart assy, and this man is going to catch what I'm throwing at him. Well, it's literally his job to catch things. And I thought, okay, I am no longer worried about their intelligence matching each other. I think they have very different kinds of intelligence. I mean, she's like so incredibly cerebral. And even if they're not like point for point on IQ, they do seem to be point for point on the most important thing, I believe, in a relationship when you are a high achieving person, which everyone watching this video here on this channel is. Respect and support. And I mean like real respect and real support of your dreams as a woman. Not just like, oh yeah, I bought her a boutique. It shuts her up so I can play fantasy football. It's whatever. I mean, you want that chick to succeed. You want your partner doing the best, maybe even better than you, that she possibly can be. To me, that is the definition of love. That's the definition of love. And as alpha females, as we are, that's hard to find. I witness it all the time in Montana. I witness guys being like, oh, my girlfriend's a badass. She pays her own bills. She's supposed to pay her own bills, right? Like, she puts gas in her car. I have literally heard men say that, she's got gas in her car all the time. I never have to do that. How low is the bar? And yet, when you move up the food chain, it's this inverse relationship where it's like, yeah, I can keep gas in my car. I can keep the lights on. I can buy a house. I can do this. I can do that. A man's like, oh, fuck, because their ability to fix your problems becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, because your problems now, as you rise through the ranks of life, your problems get pretty fucking elite. They get really high level. It's like, it's not gas in the Tahoe. It's, we have to hire a new development head of IT. I don't even know. Can you help me do this? And they're like, I got a trunk full of jerky. And so therefore, we look around at inferior women who have several DUIs and baby daddies. And they've got all the support in the world, don't they? They've got a guy who's completely devoted to them. And we're working our asses off out here to be perfect, because remember the covenant of the nerd, that promise, that like pledge we made to life, like, yeah, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna be the best me. Not just the best me, I'm gonna be the best of all of you. I'm gonna be the best of anyone. And then everyone's gonna love me. And then you look around and you're like, I'm sorry, I didn't have to pay my water bill this whole time and that would have gotten me a devoted partner? Got it. So I look at Taylor Swift in a truly, from what we know, right, truly supportive relationship. And I just want to ride it in the sky. I am thrilled for her, because if anyone is going to like end up alone, it would be someone as accomplished as Taylor. Unfortunately, it's fucked up. But if you are an accomplished woman, you're right now you're going, yeah, it feels like I might. It feels like I might. I am currently alone, or I'm not alone. I'm actually worse than alone. I'm with a partner who doesn't talk to me the way Travis talks to her. And I can't talk to him the way she talks to Travis. So how do we find this person? How do we find someone who is actually really going to pull up for you? Who not just will bail you out when you're in trouble, because like guys are hardwired to do that, right? We know the cards to play, we know the little, but someone who isn't preying on your downfall to give him a usefulness in this relationship. A man who wants you to succeed, who will push you to those heights through either direct help or emotional support or something. How do we find this man? There is actually one question you need to ask, and you ask this question on a first date. And if you're past the point of a first date with someone, that's okay. It's actually never too late to ask this question. My question to you before we get into this, do you have the guts to really clock the answer? We're going to talk all about it. Speaking of having guts to look something in the face, would you like to grade and judge one of my Oxford finals? What's that? You would? Okay. Follow my Substack. It's called Eat, Pray, Love, like pray. And I posted one of my Oxford finals. So I went out there to study creative nonfiction and basically get like more of a concrete idea for the eventual book I want to write, like my penultimate book, which is a book of like all my advice, right? Like a self-help book. So I put like a sample chapter, I turned it in for my final. It's still very much in like the early loosey-goosey stages. So it's not like this is something I'm sending to the publisher. But yes, I have like a Google form and you can fill it out and give me your feedback. Just don't be like super horrible to me. Like writing is difficult. And this is just like position one. This is just first position. This is just where we're starting. Again, this is not headed straight to the publisher. But yeah, I really want to know your thoughts because hello, I want to write a book that you love. And my Substack is free. It's probably always going to be free. Go check it out. I did a lot of posting from Oxford and like what I was like really getting out of it and what I was also not getting out of it, which was friends. So I go into all that. Check that out. Like I said, join the Shallon if you want to know more about writing and publishing and some just other deep discovery dives from Oxford, like how to deal with people judging you and grading you, how to deal with being in an environment that is like 180 from what you're used to right now, and how to even muster the guts up to go for it, just to change your life. And I think maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that here. I'll do another video. Anyway, okay. So, okay, let's get back to Taylor and Travis. Yeah, I am really happy for her. I really am, you know? And we talk a lot about Taylor because she's one of us. Like, you can picture her at brunch. You can picture her pulling up to happy hour being like, oh, fuck. You can also picture the dark side of Taylor Swift, which is, there's lots of mutuals, you know, me working in celebrity journalism and working with like people in the music industry and film and all this stuff. I know a lot of mutuals. I've met Taylor. I've hung out with her when she hosted Saturday Night Live. She was lovely. She hugged me. She was great, adorable. But what people say, and I've heard this several times, is she is a girl's girl. She will give you the clothes off her back. She will help you. She will invite you to things. But make no mistake, she is the queen bee. She's the queen bee. You're going where she says. The theme is what she decides. Like, it is her world. She will curate a beautiful experience for you within that world, but it is her world. And I fuck with that. I love that. I'm like, am I the same way? I don't know. Maybe. I don't blame her. I don't hate her for that. But that can make partnership pretty hard. And if you are a fan of her music, and it's interesting, there's like Taylor the person and then there's like Taylor the artist. And this is something we've seen throughout the entirety of art since art began. It's like the art versus the artist. And can you separate the two? And I think we're living in an age when these are so enmeshed. Like when Picasso was painting, people didn't know what a fucking asshole this guy was. Like they started to get it. Same with Hemingway. Like now you cannot separate the art from the artist. That's a whole different esoteric thing. But the through line that I have always clocked in her music was, why on earth are you treating me this way? Why are you being so mean to me? I love you. Why are you not being supportive of me? Why are you negging me? You make fun of my jokes. You laugh at my dreams. I'm never going to be good enough for you, am I? Or maybe I'm too good. Like, why did you leave me? And as a fellow alpha, that feels really, really relatable. Of like, I'm not competing with you. Why are you competing with me? I want you to do well. You're my boyfriend. I love you. Why? What is this? Why are you treating me like I'm not on your team? Because with men, everything is run through the machine of not logic, not even lust, not even the dick wet, not even that. It is run through the machine of ego. And it's easy to mistake power for ego. Like rectangles and squares, right? Ego. How do you find a man? Just look at, I'm back. My academia vibes are still in the suitcase. I'm back to coquette. I felt like I look like Diane Keaton in a lot of my academia looks, my dark academic, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll pivot back in the fall. The question is, how do we find a man who has a healthy ego, right? He's doing something he wants, but isn't like, I'm so full of myself. That's the golden unicorn, isn't it? That's the hardest thing in the world to find. Okay. I know how to find them. Right? I'm not saying that asking this question that I'm going to tell you will guarantee a perfect relationship with smooth sailing forever, right? There is no magic formula for that, unfortunately. But what this will do is increase the odds because, again, if you are willing to really look at his answer to this question, you will stand such a better chance of success versus if you never ask this question. And that question is, date number 1. So, what are you building? What are you building? I dated a guy He's young too. He's like 25. He's like, a man needs a struggle, an adventure, and a woman. I was like, okay, Dad, like, all right, look at you, like knowing what men need, Odysseus. And he's like, no, seriously, men need a struggle. They need something that they're overcoming. They need an adventure, something that's expanding their horizons, which is also a form of overcoming. He was saying this to me, 25 years old, like crazy. So cute. Not ultimately for me, but very cute. And they need a woman. Why? Why the woman? He didn't put these together, but I'll tell you. Because that's who he presents this version of himself to, right? This is the teacher who's grading the paper, a woman. He needs a woman to look at the fruits of this labor and go, oh my God, you deserve a blowjob. Ah! So when you ask a man, what is it that you're building? You are, without even understanding the complexity of that question, you are allowing him to hone in on all three of those things, okay? Now, let's just, first of all, before we get into how he might potentially answer this, you need, Miss Thing, a pep talk on why it's okay to ask this, right? I don't know why we all bought into the cool girl and the cool girl of this fuck shit of, oh, don't, Shallon, don't ask these kind of questions on the first date. That's like, wow, he's going to think you're desperate. Really? Really? He's going to think I'm desperate because I want to know if I'm dealing with a man worthy of my time who can match my energy. Because if a man asks me, what are you building? How much time do you have? Do you have a whiteboard? Some like strings and pins? I can tell you exactly what I'm building. And all of my friends can tell me what they're building. And by the way, this question, I believe you should also be asking to the women in your life. We'll talk about that in a hot second. You are not here to fuck around and waste time. I am whatever age that I am, but I have, in my life, we are past the blush of youth, right? Where we're all just like, I don't know, I'm just like a silly little goose, like running around the city. Now we are at the turning point in my friends where the waste is setting in. Where it's like, oh, you're 39 and you're desperate for a baby and you've spent the last 6 years with the guy who has no ambition, no intelligence, also is not making a commitment to you. Yeah, you're scared. Yeah, you're overwhelmed and exhausted. And guess what? You're going to follow that bad decision probably with a bunch more bad decisions because now you're making your decisions based on fear. Your decision to stay in that relationship was based on fear. Now that you're out of it, it's like panic. Your decision is based on panic now. And maybe if we'd gone back to that first date, that first like sort of trimester of a relationship, and you had asked, what are you building? You would have gotten some clarity and you wouldn't have ended up here. Around this age of mine is when sun damage comes home to roost, when obesity-related illnesses also come home. Everyone thinks I've got fucking perimenopause. No, girl, you actually probably have burgeoning type 2 diabetes. I will bang this drum forever. Don't come for me. I make a case for being and staying fat. You can't do it. It sucks. It sucks. Will it kill you? I don't know. It might. If it doesn't, are you not like wasting some aspect of your life, your youth, your beauty, your vitality? I don't want us to waste anything. I don't want us to waste anything. Our time here is short. Now, I don't just mean our time on earth. Our youth and our beauty is fleeting. Our fertility is fleeting. These just be the facts. And you know what? What a fucking gift. What a gift, our mortality, the mortality of our power to some degree as a woman. Youth and beauty, those are very powerful things. That's why I bang that drum always. Extend that power for as long as you can. Sharpen that blade until it is absolutely lethal. Move through life with one extra weapon in your arsenal. Why not? And again, what a gift. When you go into a date asking questions like this, you go into that date as a fucking warrior. Not as some desperate loser. Quite the opposite, my friend. You're saying, no, 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 no. I ask these questions because I am keenly aware of what I bring to the table. I am keenly aware of what I can do in a relationship for a man, for a family. And more than anything, I am aware of who I am. I am aware of my time on this earth. I am aware that it is a precious gift to be who I am, healthy, young, fertile, attractive, whatever it is. I am aware that this doesn't last forever. And therefore, I am unapologetically aware that I want someone who is worth my time. Because my time is fleeting. We don't know how long we have here on this earth. And I'm not going to waste it by being like, oh, I'm so sorry that I asked a question about my direct future. So, you ask these questions. Because clocking a man's answer is, you learn just as much by what he doesn't say, right? There's a world of difference between, so what are you building? I'm just like, I'm in this like exploring phase of my life. I'm just like vibing it out. I'm just like communing with nature and like letting some ideas come to me. I'm processing, I'm doing a lot of that. Okay. Because no one is going to tell you when asked that question, oh, I'm not building anything. No, I'm just a workaday hump. Yeah, I don't really have much ambition because I'm not that smart, or vice versa. I really don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. No, yeah, I'm not really going much of anywhere. I've never met anyone who says that. Never. Because they don't want to think of themselves as that way. So that's version number one of the answer. Whoa. Or version number two is, okay, whoa, ooh, wow, heavy conversation for a first date. You haven't even gotten the mozzarella sticks. No answer is an answer. Compare that to, I'm really working hard to raise funding for this water charity I'm going to do in Africa. And also on the side, I'm working on getting my MBA. It's slow going, but I'm chipping away at it semester by semester. And yeah, in the meantime, I'm running that tech company. I really feel passionately about war drones. Forget the words that I said. Did you notice the difference in my body language, in the tone of my voice? Yeah, like a man's voice will get shrill and defensive the same way a woman's is. The same things that he's accusing you of doing. Geez, relax, you're getting emotional. He's getting emotional. He will physically shrink away from your words, your accusation, your implication. Oh, are you asking me how much money I make? No, I'm asking you how much money are you going to make? Because I'm gambling my future on you, right? I'm gambling the rest of my youth, the rest of my fertility, just the rest of my life. Yeah, I want to know, what are you providing? We can talk about what I'm providing in the secondary part of the conversation. What will you provide? And this is not about cars and houses. It's not about that. It is actually, for an alpha female, it is about reciprocal energy. I as the woman, here's what I'm going to do as Shallon Lester, as you, as an alpha female. I'm going to provide you with support, love, stability, a mirror of an exemplar of ambition. I'm going to be toe-to-toe with you, right? I'm going to be cheering you on. I am a multiplier. I am a multiplier. You bring me amazing ideas, ambition, drive. I'm going to fucking multiply that for you. I'm going to be riding so hard for your dreams. I'm going to make sure that our life is oriented around success for both of our dreams, okay? I will be your teammate on this. But if you bring me insecurity, if you bring me adversarial dynamics, if you bring me passive aggression, I'll multiply that too. And I'll destroy you. I'll destroy you. I will destroy your ego from the inside out. So the choice is yours, my friend. What's it going to be? You ask a man, what are you building? And you listen to his answer, right? Is he speaking? Is he looking you in the eye? Is he leaning forward? Oh my God, yes. I want to tell you everything that I'm building. Ah, I love that she asked this. Here's why he's going to love that you asked this. If he's a quality man, he knows that you are paying attention to the right things, right? Because he knows you're not asking, well, how much money do you make? What are you building? What are you passionate about? What's your legacy going to be in this world? A video I did recently, it was actually a redo. It was Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. Why he was into her. That man is a legacy-driven man. Any motherfucker who's going to space is like, legacy, what am I leaving behind? She's a legacy builder. She is eye to eye on legacy. What am I leaving behind? What am I helping him leave behind, right? Women, we don't think of legacy in the same way usually because we have children and like that's part of our legacy. I'm much more like a man. I'm not having children. This is my legacy, books, writing, podcasts, advice, whatever, things that I'm leaving behind. So I understand a man who's like, yes, I want to leave this behind. I want to leave this mark on the world. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And so when you show him, when you ask him that question, you're speaking the language of an alpha male. And here is the second question you ask. Here's the second question you ask. And if you thought it's scary to say, what are you building? And really have the guts to read the writing on the wall, this one's going to be even scarier. How will being in a relationship help that? Well, you're not supposed to talk about relationships on the first date. You crazy bitch. You desperate bitch. Like, why not just pull out your Pinterest wedding board? I'm sorry, what are we going on dates for? What are we going on dates for? Just to have sex and never speak again? Go to fucking OnlyFans. Go get a prostitute. No shade there, but that's the vibe. It's a drive-through. I'm a destination, okay? And if you can't handle me asking destination-oriented questions, thank you so much for this vodka soda. Do you not trust yourself enough to clock those answers and be like, this is as far as we need to go? Eat the mozzarella sticks, but there will be no follow-up. There will be no second date, right? This is the answer that you want. How will being in a relationship help that? I asked this. I've asked this to guys. And the proper answer is, I will have a teammate. I will no longer be like in the noise of dating. This will be like checked off my list and I can start building because I want to build. Remember, I'm building that charity. I'm building that startup. I'm building that house. I'm building. And so I'm in the habit of building. And this is just another cool, amazing thing I am building that is going into the bucket of legacy for me. I also want a partner because I want someone who I can look up to. Someone who's going to motivate me on my down days, either overtly and she's going to pump me up, or I'm just going to watch her hustle. I'm going to watch her getting up at 5 a.m. I'm going to watch her blasting through those emails and talking to her team. And I'm going to be like, all right, she's doing it. I need to pull up and be the man for her. I need to actually outpace her because that's my role as a man, to be the leader in this relationship. So I'm going to get up at 4:45. And I'm going to make her coffee for her. And I'm going to be the leader within this relationship, not from a place of competition. No. From a place of stewardship, from a place of leadership. Because I enjoy the feeling not of like power and, oh, I'm better than her. No, I don't want the look in her eyes to be like, okay. I want the look in her eyes to be admiration. A pussy ass man can't tell the difference. Doesn't care. Does not care. If you are looking at him and you're intimidated, or if you're admiring, if you're shrinking back, or if you're moving forward, he does not care. Power is power is power. The ego machine must be fed. And again, if you ask these two questions to guys and they tell you basically in some sense that you're crazy for asking them, what a gift. What a gift that they show you that. And that's why we asked this early on. But now, what if you're not date number one? What if you're like, well, I don't know. I've been together with someone for a few weeks now, months now. I feel like it would be weird to ask. Okay. Let's say that you think it's weird to ask because maybe you know the answer. And you're not ready to hear it, because if you see, that means you have to believe. And with belief comes the burden of action. Okay? No, you don't have to. You don't have to ask. You don't have to ask. You actually don't have to do anything in this world besides pay taxes. And even that seems to be negotiable these days. Do not come crying to us when you wake up one day and you're like, I've wasted my life. There is a suffering that will occur. You can do it now and then have your whole beautiful future. Or you can suffer later, and when the suffering is rooted in cowardice and fear, it is compounded and it's infinitely worse. It's infinitely worse. You need to switch out of fear and into trust. Trust that you are strong enough to walk away. Trust that you're going to be okay. Trust that you're going to love again. Do you honestly think this deadbeat ass man is the best you can do? Why do you think that? Well, I'm just not that cool. Then go out and fucking make yourself cool. Go out and fucking make yourself cool. Learn a language. Go to the gym. Get that certification. Prove to yourself that you are worthy. Worth is not a trait. Worth is a verb. Confidence is a verb. It is the doing that creates it. So if you're afraid to ask this man a question at some juncture in your relationship, here's the positive spin on that. What if your man would love to tell you about what he's building? And what if you sitting down and asking him that will make him feel so seen, so supported, so partnered? What an incredible gift that you could give to him with the simplest of questions. Baby, I've been thinking, I watch this YouTuber, Shallon Lester. She is gorgeous, absolutely ageless, brilliant, perfect tits. Anyway, she had a good question. She's like, here's something, relationships we should ask each other. What are you building? I don't know that I've ever asked you that. Like, what are you building? What do you want to build? See what he says. And then I think once you're in a relationship, or actually you can ask this on the first date, what is your plan? What's your plan? Because, yeah, you don't want to be like, I'm going to get a yacht. I want to start a yacht company. Okay, what's your plan? Weed. What? Otherwise, he's just a dreamer. And there is, to me, not one single thing more disgusting on planet Earth than a man who's just a dreamer. Or worse, he's like a Michael Scott. Like, what always stood out to me when I would watch The Office is Michael Scott would be like, someday when I'm on my yacht and I've got my 10 grandchildren, and you just be, in your mind, you're like, where is this man going to get a yacht? He makes like $50,000 a year. But in his mind, life was just going to magically lead him there. He would just be retiring with his millions on a yacht and a beach. And it's like, you sound like a child. That's how a child talks. Someday when I grow up and I'm a ballerina, are you in ballet? Like, where are you basing this on? It's not just, it's unattractive for a very deep primal reason. This man is not a good risk assessor. This man is not a good planner. And therefore, this man is not a provider. He's a dreamer. Don't you think you deserve to know that? And let me tell you the pipeline of a man who's not building something. Let's talk depression. Oh, men and their loneliness epidemic. They're so lonely. Men have an epidemic of consequences. We talked about this a lot in the Shallontrage. Oh, men and their loneliness. Men and their consequences? Men and their fucking around and finding out? Men and their inability to have a balanced conversation? And eventually the woman's like, I don't fucking need this. Like, I actually am not an audience. This is not what I signed up for. I'm out. Yeah, you probably are lonely. But it's everyone else's fault, right? It's not you with a lack of social skills, a lack of reciprocity and respect, a lack of ambition. No, it's all of us. Okay. And men are like, women just expect so much. I can tell you from the front lines, our bar is in hell. Our bar is in hell. Never have I ever thought I need to tell girls that their bar is too high. Not once. And if I thought that, I would say that. I'd shoot you all the way straight. I don't for a reason. Women have depression for a variety of reasons. It's a lot of different things. with men, studies show this. I am not making this up. This is what studies show. There is one reason men are depressed. One. Dreams that they have not gone after. That's it. A life they have not lived. Chances they have not taken. Let's go back to what the 25-year-old said. A struggle, an adventure, and a woman. I do not think it's a coincidence he said it in that order. Because to me, that's a pipeline. You have to have a struggle, right? You're overcoming something. You're going to college. You're pulling yourself out of poverty. You're learning the law. You're learning how to ice skate. Fucking whatever. You are growing as a man. Then you get this confidence boost from that and you go on an adventure. You're going to take this out into the world. You're starting a business. You're going to grad school. You're opening a whatever. I don't know. You are going from struggle, taking that confidence to adventure, and then those double confidence points, you are wooing a woman. You are going to her, a fully formed man, and you're standing there in all of your majestic alpha male glory, and you're saying, this is who I am. And I can tell you that this is who I am, not just because I want it to be true. Look at all this evidence I have. I know how to struggle. I know how to have an adventure. So that whatever comes our way, whether it's good, that's an adventure. I got you. I know what to do. A baby, we can figure that out. A new house, I got it. Or whether it's bad, a struggle, I know how to deal with that as well. And in fact, I understand that one feeds the other. So that anything bad that comes our way, I can convert that into something positive for our little family that we're making. And for myself as a man, I welcome challenges. I don't fall to pieces because I've already done this, right? So asking a man, what are you building? What is your plan to get there? How will a woman contribute to the success of this? You are telling him, I understand what depression looks like for you, for your little species here, right? I understand what you need as a man. I am asking the right questions. I am speaking alpha male right now. And an alpha male will hear that. He will hear that song in his same language and think, that is the woman who's going to understand me. That is the woman who's going to know how to motivate me. And that is the woman I'm going to do all of these things for. Not just the little things, not just putting gas in her car. I'm going to build something amazing because I know she will see it the way I want it to be seen. She will appreciate me the way I want to be appreciated because she knows exactly who I am. She's already asking the right questions. And again, if you're afraid to ask these questions, reframe it as like, wouldn't you want to speak alpha male? If you're sitting across from an alpha male on a first date, don't you want to be like, hey, blah, 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 I speak your little language. And he's going to be like, oh, she's one of us. This is great. She's an equal. She's an equal. And don't you want to know if that man across from you can't understand a word that you're saying? I would. And once I started approaching dating and having those serious, they're not, to the right man, they're not serious at all. They're like, oh, this is a wonderful question. Thank you. They're delighted. That will be the highlight of that date. The highlight of that date. Once I stopped being such a chicken shit and having these conversations, my God, the caliber of men I was meeting skyrocketed. And I was weeding through the ones who are just like, spinning out, not doing very much. So I look at Taylor and Travis and I see their very big mutual support for one another. And I really believe that that's rooted in the fact that they are both building something. Namely, he's building something. Because again, like we I don't know if we're hardwired, but we are warm, loving alpha females. Like I am a fucking rider for the guys that I date. I want them to do so well. And that sounds obvious. And to women, it is. Like, why would I be cheering against my boyfriend or my husband? Like, of course I want him to do well. Of course I do. Men don't always feel that way. They don't feel that way. If there is a dream within their heart that they're not going for, if there is stagnation and non-action in their own life, everyone is the enemy. And you're probably the closest. A man who is not self-actualized as a man is going to look at a woman who is beneath him and doing more than him, and he will feel even worse about himself. and you trying to hype him up, oh my Christ, girl, he will hate you for it double, triple, a million times. It will be like playing a pickup basketball game against a bunch of middle schoolers, and they're like, you can do it. Fuck you, Jaden. You will not handle that well. You won't handle that well because you are supposed to be better than them. And if you're not, and they're like, it's okay, it would hurt less if they're like, boo, you're bad. It would hurt less. But when it's like their love comes across as pity, wow, that is how men look at us. That's how they feel. When they're not standing on their own 2 feet as a man, that is not for you to pull him up, girl. That's, nope. You're the cheerleader. You're a cheerleader. Cheerleaders don't run the ball. They don't pass it to Brittany. I say this all the time. Cheerleaders do their thing. They're on the sidelines. We're all playing our own game here. Even if we're someone's teammate, we're still in our own, like, not really. No, we're each other's cheerleaders. That's as much integration as we can expect. And truly, that's as much as is healthy. We all know the girl who's like dragging her boyfriend to therapy and like, you know, I'm like gonna call the doctor and see about different meds for him and I'm getting him up for the gym. I'm like, why don't you just fucking breastfeed him while you're at it? Could you infantilize this man anymore? And as hard as it is to be like, figure it out, Jeff. Like, this is your deal. Figure it out. Go sit in it and then come back to me when you have a plan. I'm not doing this for you, even if it's in our nature. And look, even if, like if they just listen to us, their life would be perfect. I know. We understand this about parenting. You can't do everything for a child. They turn out weird. And bad, right? That's not a mom to child thing. That's a human to human thing. Okay? Don't do it for a man. He will resent you for it. Instead, you ask him to stand on business and see if he can. And don't just ask once and be like, well, he said he is. You keep a very close eye on that. Keep a close eye on those plans. Are they moving forward? Or are they kind of dying on the vine? Is he making a secondary plan? Or is it like, I don't know, it'll just sort of fall into my lap. Maybe. And in the meantime, maybe you should stop falling into his lap. Let's not reward mediocrity around here. All right, let me know what you guys have to say. Hopefully this video was good. I feel like I'm a bit rusty after being gone for so long. I miss you guys. I'm so glad I'm back. Let me know what other celebrity stuff is on your mind. Yeah, check out my Substack if you feel like being judgmental. And if you want more deep dives from Oxford and writing advice, I'm going to tell you all about it in the Shallon. Join and you get your first week for free. Come check it out. All my best courses are in there. Evil Week, 35 group chats. It's an amazing community of just like bad bitches, amazing bitches. I think Taylor would love it in there personally. All right, guys, I will see you next time. I'll see you soon. Mwah!